energy from the jungle. Have you?
No, because I've been trained to let go of it. So,
Oh, lucky you. Now I like around 9 a.m., which
right,
from what I remember is around the time we used to drink.
yeah.
I just suddenly felt like all this anxiety and like nervousness, and I had to like get up and move and shake, and then I had like a whole big release. So I was like, I think that they were about to drink.
Wow.
But
Whereabouts, whereabouts in the country are you, by the way?
I'm near Kettering,
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Market Harborough. Like I'm in a little village
You-
near those two
You're near,
towns.
you're near Graffham Water, not Ibrook Reservoir. Then that's where you
You
are.
said that last time. You go
Yeah,
fishing there.
yeah, yeah. I used to. Yeah,
Yeah, I never heard of it, but
yeah.
yeah.
Spent a lot of time. So yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Right. So just quick disclaimer, because this I have to cover UK law as well.
Okay.
So
What am
you're
I getting
here.
into,
No,
Stephen?
you're here under your own free will, and I am shaman trained. So I've been trained by a shaman with the practices I do. However, under UK law, I have to point out that this is for entertainment purposes only.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. I'll be thoroughly entertained, I'm sure.
there you go. So what I'm going to do, afterwards, I'm going to explain to you how to put protection on yourself,
Okay.
because it's what we use in our world, really. And I'm just, what we'll do is there anything, don't give me any details. Is there anything you're struggling with at the minute? Is there anything that's highlighting, or there is?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I can pick something for sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, all I'm going to do is set the intention then, to show me what's troubling you at the minute.
Okay.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go the whole hog. We'll do a past life first, and then we'll do a soul retrieval. So what I will do is I'll be talking you through it. Once I get to like the past life retrieval, I'll get to the point where I'm going down the drive heading towards um, the Lord of Time. So then I'll start explaining what's happening.
Okay.
What I'd ask you to do is don't validate or invalidate what you're hearing.
Okay.
Okay. Because and I might come out and make notes and then go back in again, or I might make notes after the event. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about what came up for you, what validated, what didn't validate, or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Um, but just go with the flow of what I'm going to say. Okay.
All right.
It
So I
might,
just stay quiet until
yeah,
afterwards. Yeah.
it might. You can drop in as well if you want. That's
Yeah.
fine. But
Okay.
just again, open your system, allow yourself, because what I'm doing is asking permission to travel into your energy. Okay.
Okay. Do
So
I do I need to like keep my eyes closed and be meditating?
now do whatever you want.
I mean, I will, but just so
Yeah.
like
Whatever comes up, you just go with the flow. So
okay.
so I'm
And
just gonna. Sorry,
one
go
more
on.
question. One more question. Just I need to know how long roughly is this going to take, just so I can set my. Or we have no idea. We have no
Well,
idea. Okay.
usually it doesn't take more than an hour.
All right.
So hopefully we're done within the hour. We could be, I could be, it depends where they take me. I'm being guided once I get in that space. Okay.
All right. I get it. Yeah, you have no. Yeah, it's like in under Aya. You have no idea
Yeah,
what's going on.
yeah,
Okay. I'm
exactly.
I'm I'm ready. I'm open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you remember when whatever I was channeling kept saying the being doesn't need medicine?
Yeah.
I think this is what they were referring to. At the
Uh,
time, I thought it was only give me a little bit because I seem to be going off somewhere, but I think this is what they were actually referring to. So
right.
you're quite right. I don't know where I'm going. I just go with it. I know how to get there, and then they'll take me. But I
Okay.
have to. If I pause, you might feel some pauses. That's me trying to unhook from the human that tries to get in the way because
Okay.
I have to make sure I don't get in the way and that spirit are telling me, my guides are telling me what I need to be doing. Okay, so
Okay.
chill out, relax, and I do all the work in this. By the way, you just sit there and listen.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm just going to prepare now. Okay, I'm now going down the gravel drive towards the house where the Lord of Time lives. There's like lanterns lighting the drive up on the way, even though it's daytime. These are burning all the time. And it's a huge house with a big wooden doors, double doors. And as I approach, the doors open, and I'm stood in a grand hallway with a galleried landing in old wood. And there is, on his throne, is the Lord of Time. So I'm just going to approach him and see what he gives me. Okay. So what he's given me is a silver tray with 6 like wine glasses on it. So I'm thanking him for what he's given me, and I'm moving now out of the house and across the gardens down to the brook, stream, where the bridge goes over it. And as I stand on the bridge, I throw in the tray and the glasses, and I'm going in with it. And I go into the stream and I come out the other side. But I'm just swirling around at the minute. And I've landed on a ship. I'm just going to ask for guidance now. And it's a metal ship. So it's probably in the 18th century, I think, when metal ships were coming on. And there's a lot of passengers on the ship. And I'm asking for guidance where I need to be. I'm walking along the deck. The deck's like a reddy orange colour, that reddy orange paint. And there's grey walkways, and I'm following a grey walkway, and it's now taking me up gantry steps. Onto a deck level. I'm looking around and asking for guidance. They take me inside the ship on the top deck, and I'm walking down the corridor, and there's cabin doors all the way along the corridor on the left and the right. And right at the end, there's one that's opening. And there's an elderly lady in there. She's sort of eluding me. The cabin's got a bed in it. And what looks like a sewing wheel, the old-fashioned wheel. and a chair next to it. And every time I see her out the corner of my eye, she moves out of my eyesight. So I'm asking why. And for whatever reason she was on this voyage, she was absolutely full of fear. The door's been closed as a sign of safety. So she's coming out a bit now into my view. She doesn't know why she's on this ship. I'm asking her why, and she doesn't know why. She's just totally lost. She's no idea fully where she's going, because this thing travels around the world and people get on and get off. She's running away from something. Ah, got it. So she's running away from what looks like abuse. Not by one, but by 2 or 3 males. And she managed to get passage on the ship to get her away. She's wearing like one of the old white cotton headscarves. Her clothes are quite clean and neat. Sort of like she's got a white, with a headscarf, she's got like a white, so it's like a white bonnet with one of those white things over her shoulder as well that seem to be all in one. Long skirts and those sort of tie up boots that went over the ankle and sort of part way up the shin. And they were black and shiny. That's significant for some reason, black and shiny. She was well kept, this lady, looked after herself. She didn't come from a poor family, but she was just fed up of being abused. And it was male family members that were treating her really bad. So I'm going to ask her if she wants to come with me now, if she wants to let go of this and pass through. She's not sure. The door at the top of the steps open, and there's a lovely soft golden light. And I'm showing her other relatives that are there, that she could join them. and she'd feel so safe and get away from this energy that she's in at the moment. So I'm helping her up the steps. She's going up the steps as long as I'm with her. So I'm behind her as she goes up. She gets to the top of the steps and she turns and thanks me. The relief is amazing. Wow, she's just like, can feel the love and the energy coming from that other side of the door. So she goes through. I close the door and I'm now sealing it up. I'm beginning now to find my way back. Okay, I'm back. You can come back to me now. There you go. Did any of that resonate out of curiosity? Usually it doesn't on a past life.
I mean, I don't know anything about my past life, so not really, no.
So I'm just making notes. So she ran away from abuse, got on a ship to she doesn't know where, but very well dressed. I'm not quite sure what the spinning wheel was about. I'm not quite sure if that was me, because sometimes me puts things in there, if you see what I mean, when I'm trying to find where I am, and I questioned that and nothing came back. Interesting, because when I did the glasses and the silver, that was it. I missed that glass, silver dish and glasses. That didn't mean anything to you? No. Okay, that's fine. Past lives usually don't. So, but it was curious for me what he'd given me and then what I worked with, and then took me to the ship. But interestingly enough, the silver tray with wine glasses on would be with somebody with distinction in those days, wealth, family. So that sort of, now I'm talking about it, that ties back in. So we'll see where that goes. So in effect, that was clearing. So
don't forget there was the black polished shoes.
Oh yes, black polished shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know why, but
I think that was probably pointing again, because when I looked at them and looked up, everything was pristine and neat and white. I was questioning why everything was white and neatly pressed and the clothes, because I expected her, because she was running away. The me in me was like, why is she dressed like that? So I let go of that and I dropped in, and I realized it was because she was a lady of distinction, of wealth, not from a poor, humble background. And that's hence why she would have been in a cabin on her own.
Right. Yeah.
Rather than being rammed in the hold. Because again, I was on the ship and it took me up to the top deck, and I'm like, oh, okay, where's it taking me? So anybody with, now we're talking about it, anybody without any money would have been in the bottom. So
I thought that when you went to the top, I was like, oh, I was not at the bottom with the scum.
There you go. Right. So what we'll do now, then we'll do soul retrieval now.
Okay. Is this for the same for that life, or is this completely different?
What I set the intention for that past life clearing, the intention was for anything to clear anything that was relevant to what's happening to you now,
Okay.
going through now. So when we go into the soul retrieval, there's different levels of dimensions I work in. That was a different dimension, so I'm going to another dimension now to go in there. But again, this one is parts work basically. Okay. So this will probably resonate more because it's like now. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Right. So you have to bear with me while I get in there. And this time I don't see the Lord of Time, of course. I end up in a place when by a lake, and you'll hear me talk about the sunshine, the water, the earth, and the wind. So it's the elements that I'm recognizing that are there. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Here we go then. Okay. So I'm by the lake. I can feel the sun. I can feel the breeze. And I can feel the sand beneath my feet as I begin to walk the path through that place, past my bench, and up through the woods. Okay, I'm just boarding an aeroplane. And I'm questioning that because I know you're a traveller, so I'm just bear with me while I get out of the way and just double check that. Yeah, I'm getting on an aeroplane. And it takes off. And it hits a storm. There's thunder and lightning. And the plane's dropping and climbing in turbulence as it does. And then we come into the sunshine. And it's quiet and everybody's relaxed. And it lands. And I get out. And it's a warm country. In fact, it's bloody hot. And what's being shown now is a little white house. but it seems to be shrinking. I don't quite get that. I want me to go down some steps. And it's like into a cave where this house seemed to shrink away to. So at the bottom of the steps is a big pool of water and there's nowhere for me to go. So that's my blockage that I'm looking for. I'm now asking for help. The water's been sucked out and it's gone. And it's now like a theatre where I go down. Like a dress circle. And there's a flat space in the bottom. And there are people sort of acting or something out. But I'm going on the stage. And I'm looking for little Alex now. I'm being taken to the side of the stage through the curtains at the side. And I think I've found her. I'm just validating that. She's 8 years old. She seems to be changing what she's wearing. The 1 minute it's as though she's, I don't know whether she's on stage and keeps changing the clothes, or just bear with me and let me ask. So she keeps changing clothes because of the stage. I think that's what it is. So I'm asking her if she wants to stay there or come with me. She's just checking where I'm taking her. I'm just validating who I am. I've come here to help her. I can take her back to where she belongs, because there was a blockage stopping her from going where she belongs. And she's good with that now. So we come off the stage, back up through the theatre at the top, up through so we turn round, and when we come out the theatre, I show her what was there was water stopping it. That was the blockage. And this has been cleared for her to allow her to come back home. And she can see that there used to be water there, but it's not there anymore. So we're coming back out. I'm looking for the house. There doesn't seem to be one. So I'm back through the woods on the path, coming down to the lake, and I take her into the lake. And she turns into a ball of light. I put that in my shamanic bag. And I'm beginning to come back. Okay, come back now. I'm really curious if any of that validated or resonated.
I mean, there's a lot of things there that I could make something mean, you know, like the getting on an airplane. Obviously, I travel a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
You said the country was really hot. Like, I'm happiest in hot countries. I'm always wanting to be in hot countries.
I kept questioning that because, of course, I knew that about you. So I was trying to, I kept letting go, and I went back 2 or 3 times to see if I was actually, they were leading me on a plane, and they were. So
yeah, that's madness. And also even the piece about the water, like I'm obsessed with water. Like it's where I feel happiest.
right,
It's
okay.
like whenever I need to get in the water like all the time.
Well, that's interesting because the water was the blockage, stopping
Yeah.
the little one from coming back.
Yeah,
But that could be why you want to be in the water all the time,
exactly.
because you know it's a blockage and you're trying to get back. So could be, I don't know, but interesting.
Yeah. The stage thing made me think of, because you said I was 8, so the stage thing made me think of like when I was at primary school and we used to do like lots of nativity plays and stuff, and I was in a lot of them. I remember like I don't
Oh,
I don't remember all the different roles that I had, but I remember I think one time I played Mary, and then I think other times I did not have such a significant role.
yeah. Well, the age of 8 was quite interesting. That's what, because when I was seeing, normally I see the clothes, and again, so unusual, because what I've seen in the past is usually dresses and pigtails and bows in the hair and all. And all I could see was just all these different changes of clothes that I couldn't even recognize what was on. So I had to go with that. So that told me that was a lot then. So that explains what that was then. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember like that much about, like I don't remember like changing clothes loads, but I know that I was in a bunch of school plays when I was around that age. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you remember anything else from that age? It didn't stir anything up to you when I went there for 8. Nothing moved in your system.
I mean, no, there was nothing like that. I mean, the obvious place where my mind went was like, well, it was like my parents divorced when I was about 11. So, but for sure they were arguing and screaming at each other and stuff like that around that age. So that was the place where my mind immediately went, but I felt okay inside.
Interesting, because what came into me when you explained that, and it sort of was coming in a bit towards the end as I was coming out, that you were having to put a brave face on. That's what else was to do with the acting.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
So the brave, so what I'm feeling into, what I'm being guided to, just give me a minute.
Mm.
Yeah, so the acting on stage was significant for the age of 8, but it was probably more of a metaphor that what you were having front you were having to put on because of what was going on at home, maybe.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's definitely something I still like I struggle to be vulnerable. Like So
Yeah.
there's still that like everything's fine.
Yeah, so that's what I was feeling into. That's what I was meaning by, yeah, that's what they were telling me. The front is what you do.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me anymore, because next time, if you're up for it, we'll journey on that and see what comes up.
Okay.
Because these are ongoing processes, but I need to explain something to you to just do, just for going forward. I'm just making notes, so next time. So yeah, quite interesting. So I mean, some people process when I can hear them. I have to ignore them because they go into the tears start flowing, because there can be abandonment in there and all sorts of things, and it validates what they were feeling. So it was quite interesting with you, that one. So and as quick and as well, the plane bit was just like, oh, okay, this is different. So yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's like, hang on, so do I do that because of that lost little one, or
The
like,
little, what happens is, as you know, as you're aware, the simple format is the part separates from the self,
yeah,
and the healing is bringing the two together. So are you familiar? You're familiar with IFS, aren't you? Internal Family Systems. Yeah. So what they do is they find it's based on the work I've just done. So what I've just done, he didn't look at shamanic work and then come up with IFS. It came up with IFS, and somebody said, "You realise that's similar to shaman's work, don't you?" And he said, "Yeah, I've looked into that and suddenly realised." So it's wrapped up and delivered in a way for the Western world, but the indigenous way. But you do need spirit guides to be able to take you. So there's not many people out of the what they call the paper shamans that can actually journey and do that sort of thing. I'm quite fortunate with who's teaching me, that she's recognized something and keeps bringing it out. I don't know what it is. I just go with the flow. But so yeah, so what the soul journey is, the soul retrieval is the same thing. The part is separate, is like a disconnected from, it's part of the soul, but it's disconnected and it's lost. So we bring it back, and I blew it back into you as well. If you're in the physical, I blow it in the head and in the heart, but I just blew it back into you, because that's returning the ball of light back into you, so it brings the two back together. So
nice.
yeah, you're welcome. So it's quite interesting. So yeah, we'll have another. I'm away next week. So if you're up for it the same time in 2 weeks, then I'll send you another schedule, and we can we'll journey and see what comes up. But I'll send this to Kat. She might, because she's so connected in, she might say, "Oh, that you missed that, you missed that, journey on that, da 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 da." So we'll see what happens. What I do want to go through with you is protection.
Okay.
Because there are negative things that try and get into you and attach themselves to you. And most people create a bubble of white light, because that's protection. And everybody knows they're a bubble of white light, so they can break through them quite easily. So I'm just checking my notes to make sure I go through it the right way. So to protect yourself, you imagine yourself in what I would describe as a Red Riding Hood cloak. You put the hood on and you put the cloak all the way around you. You might need to listen to this video after, Alex, and probably do it after, but you can make that in any format you want, but you need to make sure that you're all covered and you've got some sort of mask on. That could be cling film, it could be a metal one, it could be whatever mask you want. Okay, and then all tied up at the front with a buckle. And the buckle's important because when you imagine yourself with that, I do reinforce and before, that's what I was preparing when I went in. I was putting my protection on before I went in, but you can use the buckle to strengthen yourself during the day. So if you're in a negative, when you feel that negative energy. So when you put your cloak on, just tap the buckle and it just gives you extra protection. So if you're going into anywhere, I do it before I go into minis. I do it before I do anything now. I bring my protection on. So make sure you cover the feet. Okay. So everything's covered.
The way down to the ground.
Now, the important one is as well, create yourself a necklace, and that's your soul key.
Okay.
And you put that on first, and then you lock everything over it. And it's locked away. Okay.
Okay.
So anything from your past, your future, anything that everything's locked away in that necklace under that key. So it's how you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you how you do mine, because that's the thing I'm going to say to you. Don't let anybody know how you've done it. But whatever your necklace is, it could be a crystal, it can be anything you want, but just make sure it's locked away and it's underneath the cloak.
Okay.
So when you've done that, then the fun bit is you've got an Indian medicine man or a shaman would have a medicine bag, and he'd tell you what was in it. So you've got two big pockets on your cloak, and there are Pandora's pockets, so you can fit an elephant in if you want. If you've got an elephant as your power animal, you put him in there. That you put it in, and if it's crystals, whatever resonates with you for protection, you put, and that makes you feel good and you're aligned with, put them in your pockets, but don't tell anybody what you're putting in.
Okay.
Okay, and you can add to it.
Okay.
And
cool.
you can add extra protection if you want. You can put fire around you. You can have a leopard with you. Whatever you want to give you extra protection around that, you can. And once you've visualized all that, you've got all that, the buckle anchors it in, so you can just tap the buckle if you want.
Okay.
I'm a bit strange, because what I do is I envisage it every time. And when you've got all that, what you do is you imagine it just being invisible. So it's invisible to everybody. Okay. So if anything negative comes towards you, it can't see you.
Okay.
You're protected and it can't see you. Okay.
Okay. And is there like how often you should do this, or is it just when you feel you need it for some reason?
But it's a 24/7 protection. Okay. So I do mine first thing in the morning, always. So I first did mine when I was with Kat. It was one afternoon, I think, I can't remember, but I created it. Before I go to bed, I'd just bring it out, and then in the morning I reinforce it as well. But for me, you see, every time I'm journeying, I'm bringing it out. So when I'm miniing, I'm bringing it out. When I'm sat in a meditation, I bring it out. When I'm sat with others, like on L1 tonight, I bring it out. So I make sure I just reinforce it all the time. So but if you've got that buckle there and you're anchored into it, you can do it in the morning if you want. And then during the day, if you happen to go to the shop, just tap wherever it is.
All right, so you don't have to do the whole visualization again. You just tap, and that's like
So use the buckle as your anchor.
Got it.
I do the whole visualization because I can do it sort of. I don't know why, it just comes up really fast, and because I'm journeying to various different worlds. Because I went to the upper world for the past life and the lower world for the soul retrieval. So, and I'm in there, and there's all sorts of things that can be a bit tricksy. So I make sure I'm protected all the time. So yeah, if you do that, you probably find that you'll not get anything attacking you as much either. Because the other thing is, when we're doing this kind of work, we're opening ourselves up to receive, but you can receive negative stuff as well as positive stuff.
Yeah. And I always feel everybody's stuff. Like if someone is crying, I start crying, and I'm like, this is not even me. I'm crying because they're crying.
Yeah, I get that. And again, you see, you can tap when you know when that comes on, just tap your buckle.
Okay, I will
Or
do that.
even before you go into the call, tap the buckle.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
You
Good.
might still feel the emotion, but if anything negative's coming through, you're pushing it away. It can't
Mm,
get through. Okay?
okay. But it doesn't stop nice things coming in
No,
then.
no.
Okay.
It's about is stopping negative from coming through.
Yeah, got it. Okay, awesome. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Let me know if anything comes up. Just
Yeah.
keep just again watch for the same thing. Any change or a memory coming up or something like, oh, that's different. Just let me know. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, cool.
Take
Thank you
care.
so much.
See you
See you
soon.
soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.